So my name is Caroline Pang. I'm the University Librarian of Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Thank you, Bloomsbury, for inviting me as a panelist. Not often do I get to speak about videos and streaming, which actually I'm quite excited about because, even it's always been there, and we take it a little for granted, and it's a little in the background. And I think with AI and AI tools, there's lots of potential and possibilities, right? And it also, so I would just like to introduce myself again. I also sit on the board of, executive board of the International Association of University Libraries. Okay, previously I was the director of the medical library in NTU as well. Okay, and NTU is a big university. We've got 35,000 students, PhDs, postgraduates, undergraduates. We've got 8,000 faculties from 73 countries and 300 over 1,000 alumni. This is a slide that my university requires me to put here so that you know what NTU is about, yeah? And you can see NTU mascot lion, yeah. Okay, and we are well known for our engineering and business courses. Okay, and in terms of interdisciplinary ranking, we're very happy to be number 5 this year. Okay, and NTU is actually a very young university. We are the number 1 in Singapore and number 3 in Asia. So we're very proud. We work very hard to get our rankings up, but not so to the ranking gods or doing sacrifices to the ranking gods, but making sure that our research has good impact and good visibility. Okay, and NTU Library, okay, we have about 7 libraries on campus, and over here is Timmy, our robot. I wish I can bring Timmy here. It's about this size, kid size. It's really cute. It's what we call a concierge robot, and we're now having unmanned libraries and just having that robot roam around. And the one good thing about this robot is that anytime you need help, you press a button and you can get video call to the librarian that's on duty at the moment. Yeah, and Hugar is one of our well-being spaces. So if you do visit NTU, has anyone visited NTU Library before? Yeah, okay. Did you go to Hugar? No? Cannot remember? Okay, it's quite new. It's about 3 years old. Yeah. Okay, so the time to come back and visit us, see Timmy and see Huga. Yeah, and we'll give you a nice tour in these spaces. Okay, and of course, the rest are the usual library talk. Yeah. So to dive right into it, okay, we are talking about NTU Learn video. I think the O is missing there. Okay, so this is quite new. As it says here, this new platform branded as NTU Learn Video is going to be available to all NTU schools, including NIE, that's our teachers' college, okay, and LKC Medicine, which is our medical college, medical school, okay, and we have adopted it as an integrated cloud-based video platform for the entire NTU community. This is quite a big move, because what this means is that there is dedicated resources to make videos. How wonderful is that, right? If we want to make our own videos, we struggle, right? We need to go and get video editing, etc., and maybe coach the faculty who tend to be quite stiff and the researchers, and we don't want another talking head video, right? Yeah, but with this statement, it means that the university is committing to some form of video streaming. Okay, so faculty become video handsome, right? This guy, yeah. So we had to. He don't usually look like this. You probably won't walk past him, But because of this video, right? We told him, cut your hair a little bit, So Professor Andy Kong now quite a movie star, quite a celebrity on our campus. People will go up to him and say, "I saw your video." He's actually quite good. He was very shy. He had to be convinced, to be told that and increasingly schools are going to pull out their faculty and say, make a video instead of just publishing. Tell us about how you publish, what you publish, and surprisingly, I cannot play the video here, it's not live, but you can always go to this channel. So our channels are divided into a public-facing channel, which is here. You can always Google NTU Learn Video, and you can see all our videos there. Okay, and internal consumption, internal viewing, and those are the kind of videos that lectures and all that. And again, we pivot to say that, videos like this can be marketing trailers as well, or 101 on a subject, because we realize that if you have some connection to the person who's going to teach you or going to take his course, through a video, you can feel that connection. And to hear them speak, directly about what their research is very compelling, very, very compelling. So Prof. Andy Kong suddenly became very hot property, okay? And we recently asked him to also speak to the public through our National Library Network. And his topic is about actually death and dying. So we're trying to tell him, don't go there and be morbid. Okay, can you be engaging? And he talked about the research of bereavement, and why he does this research. And it connected very well to the public because they suddenly understood the science behind what they always read on the internet. So that was a good thing. So this channel is still evolving. We are not, if you click on some of these, there might be no content there yet, but generally we are told that, we can have so what we're going to do next after this, my to-do list is to go back and have a NTU Library video channel, because we realize that actually it's a very good platform to capture students, yeah. So, and there are some functions for our video, automatically you can, they can have their own quizzes, they can go to chapters directly. This is what we tell our faculty, that if you want to make a video, make an interactive video. Don't just make a talking head video or something that looks like from a CCTV. That's the worst, So use all these functions, They can also do keyword search. They can also like a comment and things like that, and upload and share your media to your courses as well. So we tell faculty you have all this type of functions. So it's an interactive video, okay? And we think that it's no longer a novelty. It really ties into asynchronous learning. It increases accessibility. You hear students nowadays to say that my learning style is XXXX. There's so many styles, right? Some like to learn alone, some like to, and as a result of all that, also our library space changes a little bit. But audio video is a really accessible way for students who have different learning styles, right? And of course, personalized learning, okay? You can access this anytime you like, whether you're an early bird or owl. Yeah, so we think it's no longer a novelty, but something quite necessary. So that's the part, short introduction about NTU and NTU Learn. And, I will sit down and we'll continue the Q&A later. Yeah.
And the mic to Raven. And
here, Raven.
we ended up with like a Q&A here, which is actually, we will have Q&A. We'll have
you want me to help you?
Yes.
Okay, sure, I can drive for you.
Okay, so, okay. So, sorry. Yeah, sorry, could you go to just the first slide first? Yeah. Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Raven. I am the resource acquisitions librarian at NUS Libraries. So very nice. Very happy to be here as well. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. Sorry, I need to refer to my notes a lot. So yeah. So just to share a little bit about NUS, I would just talk a little bit more of our campuses. So we have 3 campuses, the main one being at Kent that pretty much holds all the faculties and schools of the main disciplines. We also have the Duke NUS, which is a partnership between Duke University and NUS, and it's also Singapore's flagship graduate entry medical school. And then we have the 3rd campus, which is the Bukit Timah campus that holds the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. Okay, so next one. Yeah, so, sorry about the title. It's actually NUS Library since 1905. So other than the digital library, we have 6 physical libraries. The central library that holds the biggest collection and serves the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Engineering, as well as the School of Computing. So within the central library building also houses the Wan Busao Chinese Library. We have the music library as well that serves the School of Music. The Hon Swee Sen Memorial Library that caters to the School of Business, and the CJ Cole Law Library for the law majors and faculty, as well as the newly combined Medicine and Science Library that serves the School of Medicine, Public Health, Pharmacy, as well as the Science faculty. Yeah. Yeah, so just to give you an idea of our collection numbers as of December 2025. Okay, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in now onto our video collections. Actually, sorry, it shouldn't be called video collections. It should be called video acquisitions rather than collections, so my apologies for that. The numbers do not include the video databases. So what the graph shows is the library's complete transition from older media material formats to DVDs by 2023. So we started off by acquiring 2 DVDs. And then the numbers grew in 2004 and 2005, probably either to replace, their earlier format predecessors. And I'm not sure what happened in 2006. I assume maybe it was like the Labubu trend that came and went like nothing. So no one asked for DVDs anymore, or they probably thought that the collection at that time was sufficient for us. And then from 2007 onwards, it was like the return of bubble tea or boba tea. Because DVDs were popular again. So in 2016 was when we actually saw a sharp decline. I should have used the pointer. I'm so sorry for that. It was actually we did see a sharp decline because of the change in government guidelines in how we acquired DVDs. So you could say that the government actually kind of became curious in how and why we were buying so many DVDs, especially since we are not a film school. And I was also wondering what took them so long to realize that films are being used as part of our curriculum. So by 2019, COVID, and I partly blame Netflix, saw the rise of streaming video requests, which completely overhauled our acquisition processes for our videos. And we started seeing more and more of such streaming video requests for students in order to access these videos, video content from home. So there are reasons why the numbers are few and far between compared to DVDs, which I will share later. Okay. So next one, yeah. So with the change in the government guidelines, we streamlined the requirements to videos being strictly for course use only. They require the government rating classifications from the Singapore Infocomm Media and Development Authority, or IMDA, even if the film has already been rated by another agency elsewhere. So we cannot take the ratings from IMDb. We have to take IMDA, okay? So the move towards streaming videos means, like I mentioned earlier, we've had to adapt our acquisition methods in terms of obtaining the institutional or educational license, which in most cases can be really tedious and almost non-existent, especially for the major motion pictures as well as the box office films. Yeah. So there's also the strict government guidelines. I keep mentioning the government, but yeah, they're really serious about it. In terms of films rated NC-16 and above, there are additional processes for us if we end up acquiring videos that are rated NC-16 and above. And in some cases, for example, if the government if there is a request for a banned film or what the government has deemed a potentially contentious film, the additional processes include escalating all the way to the university management for their approvals and for their input as well. Yeah. So because of these cases, and also due to the diverse demand, we find it easier to just focus on getting the educational or institutional license one at a time. And of course, it's easier to focus on acquiring one film rather than going out and getting. I know there are lots of film databases out there. It's actually easier for us at this point to focus on getting individual films, also due to budget constraints. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, hello everybody, it's good afternoon. So thank you very much, Caroline and Riven. Yeah, so I have learned a lot from wonderful presentations on your experience at NTU and US implementing streaming content in support of your teaching and research activities on the campus, right? So I'm Li Ping Yang. I'm very new to Bloomsbury. I only joined the company about 2 months ago. So it's my great honor to speak on behalf of the company, right? So what I'm going to do today is just walk you through quickly, the company's perspective with regard, okay, so how to, so this one, right? I need to click this.
The one that is faded.
Oh.
So I think you got to aim it there. Yeah, so
Okay.
I can get to your-
Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. So I just want to walk you quickly through the company's perspective with regard to streaming content creation, licensing models, challenges we have faced, as well as our regional strategy, right? So first, a very quick introduction to the company, right? Bloomsbury is a leading independent publisher. We publish many different kinds of materials, right, including print, ebooks, as well as wonderful digital resources, right, so supporting the academic market, right? So as a company, we operate globally, so with offices located in London, Oxford, New York, Santa Barbara, New Delhi, Sydney, as well as most recently in Singapore, right? So I'm a member of the Singapore-based staff. And we are very proud, right? Very proud to be a market leader in terms of performing arts and music publisher, right? So having released some wonderful collections in these fields, right? For example, the Bloomsbury Video Library, the Drama Online. Just for information for the Video Library, we have recently released a very, very fascinating collection that is sourced from the London Orchestra Symphony, right? Just for information. And actually, it's over the past decades, right? So over the past decades of academic, publishing, so we have built a vast academic user base. These academic, authors, most of them are leading scholars in certain fields. Actually, they also play a very important part in our various digital publishing initiatives. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So over the years, right, the Bloomsbury digital resources team, I'm a member of this team, right? So we got an opportunity to work with some wonderful, preeminent, leading libraries, archives, and other institutions, right, including British Library, the National Archive in UK and US, the BBC Studios, National Theatre, as well as the London Symphony Orchestra. Well, so what are our key, approaches, right? Approaches whereby we make a decision on what to publish or what not to publish in terms of video or streaming content, right? So actually at the company, we adopt, a variety of different approaches here, right? So first and foremost, we take a highly proactive approach, right, in terms of content acquisition and creation, right? So here, actually, we fully leverage, our deep knowledge and understanding of the market, right? So especially in terms of teaching and research trends. So this is a result of many years of academic publishing, right? So the products, that's released actually can keep us ahead of the market. So to a high degree, so actually we can anticipate. Sometimes we can create new market demands. Just to give you an example, the Bloomsbury Fashion Central, right? So when we started this project many years ago, so we have done some research. We couldn't find any similar products out in the market. But then over the years, right, so this product, right, so Bloomsbury Fashion Central has evolved into one of the most influential products. At the same time, right, so we also fully understand the importance of listening carefully, to the feedback, of our customers, including faculty members, students, and also librarians, right? So this feedback we received from them, we take it very seriously. We analyze it very carefully. So this feedback actually has informed and impelled, our various digital publishing, initiatives. Actually, by doing this, our products release will be able to satisfy the actual needs coming from our customers, right? So university professors, lecturers, students, as well as the librarians. Because for librarian, you do have your KPI, right? So you want to build your collections, manage your collection, right? So actually, I think in the real world, most of the time, we adopt a so-called hybrid approach, right? So whereby we combine the proactive vision, right? So and the user feedback, especially when it comes to huge project. So as many of you know, digitizing project is not cheap at all, especially video content, right? So it's a big investment. We need to take it very, very seriously. So on one hand, we think it's very important to have some wonderful ideas, right? That's my team, right? So we work on, right? We have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of wonderful product concepts, but all these ideas and product concepts need to go through a very rigorous many rounds of market research, market assessment, right? So only by doing this, we can publish, we can acquire, then we can release products that can satisfy the market needs. At the same time, we can also ensure a decent return on our investment, right? So this will establish a kind of healthy publishing system. Well, now let's move on to how we get the material from the source partners, right? So most of the time when we, in our negotiation with the source partners, most of the time where possible, we will try our best to get the exclusive license from them. So why? Because if you don't do this, right, so because the huge investment, if you don't do this, there'll be a huge risk, right? So otherwise, if you don't do this, you only got a non-exclusive, it's quite likely, right? So for the same content, you have several, right, publishers, right? They got the same content from the same partners. They produce the digital products. So then in the market, there are several different versions of the products. So all these publishers will compete with each other, right? Try to bring down the price. It probably is good for the customers, but it's not good for the future, for the long term, right? So it's running of the publishing industry. So we don't want to see this to happen, right? So this is not healthy at all. So anyway, in the process of licensing content or in the process of digitizing, right, the video content, we have come across a number of challenges. First and foremost, rising costs. So actually, this is a result of several factors, right? First, we need to pay sometimes a very high royalty to the source partners, London Symphony Orchestra, right? So high profile. Sometimes they think, okay, our products is premium, so we cannot sell it cheap, right? It's cheap. On the other hand, we also realize, the digitizing process, right? So it requires a lot of investment, right? So on one hand, we need to ensure the quality, the clarity of the audio, video content, right? At the same time, we also think it's also very important, right, to create some other value-added elements, right, such as audio-video descriptions, transcripts, closed captions. So the purpose is to make the digitized video content searchable, discoverable, right? So, and the other things, right? So this is a kind of challenge facing all the publishers, digital publishers. That is the accessibility compliance. So we must make sure our product and our product platform must comply with all these very challenging, very stringent, right, requirement standards, right? So coming from these two, right, ADA, so American with Disability Act. At the same time, we also need to take this very carefully the web content accessibility guidelines. All these require a lot of investment. Human resources, finance resources, right? Especially involving our IT technology team, right? To tweak the system to make sure our content, right, is processed in a way that will comply all these challenging, right, evolving standards and requirements. And most of the time, right, so for those content we license from the partners, they have some sort of copyright issues or restrictions, right? We need to find a way to overcome. So here is requires additional investment of time and also money in order to get all the necessary clearances, permission. Otherwise, we cannot proceed, right? So you'll be in trouble, right? So yeah, so all these factors, right? So rising costs, the need to meet these challenging accessibility, compliance, as well the copyright clearance. So actually, I think it's combined to lead to the rising production costs, right? So which may lead to increased price, or sometimes may not. Right? So, right. Interestingly or ironically, at the same time, if you look at our customers, right, libraries, archives, whatever the institutions, they also face a very sad situation because they see their library budget cut, slashed from time to time. Right? So this is a very delicate situation. On one hand, we're facing rising costs. On the other hand, our customer suffering from decreasing budget. So it requires the publishers, right? So we need to strike a very delicate balance between this. We need to keep our costs. At the same time, we must do our best to ensure our product release is affordable, right? So last but not least, we need to address the valid, reasonable concerns coming from our partners, right? So about the potential impact coming from AI technologies, right? So at Bloomsbury, we do have a commitment, right? So our top priority is that we never give our content, right, to the AI technologies, right? So, but at the same time, we fully understand the potential benefits, brought about AI technologies, right? So, and after many rounds of discussion, probably Lenny, so you can share a little bit. We decided to adopt a measured kind of approach, right, in terms of AI technology. We fully understand, our partners, the needs or requirement for us to protect the IP, right? On the other hand, we also think, okay, there are benefits we cannot afford to ignore, right? We still need to analyze, maybe try to pick and choose, those proven, safe AI tools, so that we can use the tools to work on our technology, work on our content to create a wonderful learning and teaching environment or experience for our customers. So lastly, a few words about our regional strategy. So it's something we're still working on, right? So as a Bloomsbury, Bloomsbury is a multinational educational publisher. So we're committed, right, in bringing US, UK developed content to the global, right? So global customers, right? So at the same time, we're also keenly aware of some things happening, right, from the market beyond US and UK. So there's a demand for local content. Most of the time, they are produced in local languages, right? So these are required in support of the regional scholarship. So Bloomsbury also recognized that there is an opportunity, right? Because the local content probably can help, scholars, based outside or in the Western academia, right? So because in US, Europe or US or UK, so there is a very interesting or unique discipline which is called area studies, right? Those area studies in the US, they also want to, if you want to research the history, politics, right, of Asia, you still need to access the local content, right? Most of the time produced in the local languages, right? So because of this, this kind of, we do have this awareness of this rising demand. So actually, this awareness has more or less, led to the company's decision to establish office in Singapore, because there are opportunities in Asia which we can maximize, right? So that's also why we're committed to working with, libraries, archives, academic publishers based in Asia, for example, Singapore, right? NTU, guys, NTU US. I believe you have some wonderful collections we can work on together, right? So we're also looking, at China, inclusive Hong Kong, and Japan as well. Just to give you a few examples, we're looking actively at the Asian films, right? So also performing arts, Asian, local Chinese, right? So Japanese, and so on and so forth, as well as the Asian adaptations of Western dramatic works. Shakespeare is played, translated, performed everywhere, right? Everywhere. So anyways, this strategy calls for close collaboration, right, between Bloomsbury and all the other leading institutions, right? So in Asia. So I think that's all, about sharing about the company's perspective, right? About streaming content creation, right? Licensing, or our strategy. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rupen.
We have several minutes that we've left open for Q&A and discussion. Are there any questions for any of the panelists, or librarians, or Li Ping, or myself? No questions at all? Yeah, please. So limited discoverability of streaming content. I don't know, does anyone have any answers to that? Is that primarily, do you think it's just a metadata issue?
I don't know. So, like, essentially, when people are coming to the catalogue, if they're coming to the catalogue, they just can't seem to be able to find it and then use it.
Like their search is not surfacing, it's like somehow deprioritized. Yeah.
Does anyone got any ideas?
Here, Caroline. Here, do you want the mic?
Sorry, okay. Yeah, in NTU, we use Cultura, which is a video streaming platform, and I think that's just for hosting the videos, and it does quite okay. But I agree with you, the promotion part, it's a little tough, and again, how embedded it is in your curriculum, right? So we have started making 1-minute trailers to the course. Especially our adult learning courses, we get our video faculty staff to do a 1-minute spiel on the course, and we put it on the public website. So it's easier for people to discover through Google and all that. It's a just short 30-minute, 1 minute, make it sound exciting, promote your course, promote this and promote that. And I think, and you get to see the actual faculty who's going to teach you. So we thought that has some success, and then, but we don't have a really tight strategy to go on social media. I think that's all that's needed for all universities, because we tend to be very traditional in our approach to video promotion and video making. Because if you think about it, if people are, our students, the students are working in the library, are making videos about how to search for books, and their videos are better than any lip guide that we ever give, any kind of video that we make, because it's raw, it's relatable. They just take their phone and say, "Here I am," and they have their influencers, So we started actually tapping on the students who have very high influence and say, how about making a video with us to promote this new resource or this new service, and it connects with the students just like that. And to make a TikTok video is you need basically nothing at all, not like the very formal ones that we're doing and thinking. So sometimes, we have to be a bit more flexible and think like it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It just have to be relatable. People will just say, hey, watch this. There's also another video we made of on Wellbeing Day, the National Wellbeing Day, right? And my staff had a wonderful idea of being prescribing books. So they dress up like doctors and call themselves doctor librarians, and you come to the counter and then you say that I'm depressed, and they will just say, here is one book you can read that makes you happier, and we did a short video on this and it went viral again. I have no idea what goes viral, frankly. If you ask me, I don't know how it connects, but all we know is that, the email EDM is the worst, right? So a trailer video of 1 minute, 30 seconds to just get that hook, to get people curious is probably the best. And sorry, people of my generation don't think like that, but it's the younger generation that tells us, why don't we try this, why don't we try that? On Halloween, they dressed up and they made a video, and again, the library got like 1,000 likes, more than what I ever get for anything else, right? So it's interesting. So promotion, I agree with you, it's hard, but maybe a trailer of a 1 minute, a really fast one, maybe just showing the faculty in a more relaxed state, rather than, I'm a newscaster, I'm making not that type of video, might help, yeah. That's what we do now, to get the faculty to make a 1 minute video about their course that they're going to teach. Yeah.
Do you think it's also possibly the way the discoverability service surfaces content?
It could be, it really could be. With another platform, our usage data from the catalog, it was terrible. But when it was embedded in the online learning site, and the vendor gave us that data, we didn't get that. It was like, oh, actually, that's quite amazing. So, so whether it's a metadata issue, or that then you have to kind of know what the platform is to then go in to find the content, because it doesn't just fetch up.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
Just to kind of piggyback, I was wondering if, like for me, a lot of mine, I work with our Korea campus, and when I first went out there, they had no idea of the resources that they had available to them. So when I got a chance to finally get into the classroom and be with the faculty and be with the students, I showed them all the fun things, right? So I'm like, look, we have Swank, look, we have this. And they're like, wait, what? I can watch Barbie for free through the library? And I'm like, yeah, I have to pay. So it became like that, and then it got the students looking into it more, and it got the faculty looking into it more to actually like kind of play with the platforms, because I don't think our search discovery tool is good at that either. Like if they were to type in Barbie, it might not pop up, but we do have it through these other things. So I think there is a disconnect happening here. But the more we tell them like, hey, did you know that I have this and you can watch this, then it becomes like, oh, I'm going to go to it more organically. Same thing with like ebooks. They're like, oh, do you have anything for fun? It's like physically in the library, yes. Digitally, no. Now we do, because we got Libby. So yeah, you can read Jane Austen if you want to, and it doesn't have to be for academics. So I think a lot of that is what we're doing in the classroom as well, if that's your bread and butter. It's my bread and butter, so, but yeah.
Can they filter in their search for streaming specifically, or is it just they tend not to do that?
The way that ours are set up, I'm not a fan, but the way that ours is set up, it's like, oh, you can go in and look at types of databases or types of content, and then you can go and press videos, and then it lists all the databases that have the videos, and then you have to pick and kind of play with it, but there's not really like a filter.
Do your students do that?
Yeah, actually, I teach them how.
Right.
So, especially in Korea, because a lot of stuff isn't as free. So when they figure out that they have a VPN and they figure out that we give them access to these things, then yeah, they're definitely a lot more like, I can do this at home. So yeah.
Thanks. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Bloomsbury, full disclosure. But I have a question for Raven and Caroline and the librarians, just about, obviously students are learning through video a lot more because they're all watching TikTok and YouTube and things like that. But have you had any challenges come back to the library about where lecturers are trying to use YouTube videos in the classroom, or they're trying to use YouTube for teaching, but then they're complaining to the library about the fact that those videos disappear or that they can't be listed properly? I mean, you having any challenges around that?
Well, I think embedding videos into their courses, we will try. If it's a YouTube video, we tell them you cannot download it. Then they started filming it with their camera, and it's terrible. Yeah, but yeah, shocking, right? Yeah, but yeah, but they wanted to. But you know, it shows that they want to get the message across. They want to use that to teach. So sometimes it's like that. Other times it's like we try and embed it into the learning management system. Yeah. Like Raven said, you know, about a lot about our government, and that's very strict, and they are probably stricter in NUS than us, because NUS is the National University of Singapore. NTU is like the second brother that gets a little fun. So we've gotten...
They're mean to everyone.
They're mean to everyone.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
They're very
Okay, maybe,
fair in that.
we don't cross that line too much then, yeah. But using YouTube, well, I think our challenge is more about using materials that are classified, no, not unclassified, and then we cannot use it. You know, even though it's impossible to educate the faculty. I can tell you that they will tell us that in their home country, this is just like normal, you know, anyone above 18 can watch. Why in Singapore is it? So we tell them about our censorship system that's very stringent. It crosses all kinds of lines that are, if it's religious, if it might incite political unrest, it may, etc., etc. We're very sensitive about this, so it's very challenging to teach, you know, using films that we want to show. Like recently, just about last 3-4 months ago, we wanted to have a filming about a trans woman's journey in Singapore. So she actually made a documentary about herself, you know, from transiting from male to female, and she was the director and the producer of the film. It won awards all over the world. We want to film it, right? We want to show it in Singapore. And when the faculty, when I saw the email, I almost died, because it means jumping through so many hoops, you know, and I didn't want to say no. I want to say yes, but there was such a string of, you know, kind of have to do, to make sure that everybody is registered, everybody is above 20-something. There must be faculty at hand to explain what's going on. There's so much censorship. Yeah, and it's a pity, because we feel that there should be a bit more academic freedom and academic exploration, especially in a safe space like the university. What makes you think that our young students do not understand? They can see anything, everything on YouTube and everything now, right? Why are we being so... But our government has to take a stance. So I think the censorship torture that we go through is best spoken by Raven, who seemed to have gone through a lot of censorship, but I didn't feel it much. Yeah.
Actually, for us, our faculty, they are the opposite. They're quite insistent on getting the original one. And sometimes we do ask, I mean, no, we don't ask, but we try to infer, like, do you think you can find this on YouTube? But they're very demanding. They say, no, we want the original one, which is why it has completely changed our acquisitions process. So we know that we have to, first of all, get the institutional or the educational license. And it's a really, it can be a really, really long process. And like I said, the major motion picture films, they would never entertain us. So yeah, actually, I hope, I mean, we talk about partnerships, right? My wish list is perhaps Bloomsbury could actually have a partnership with Netflix, you know, or Disney Plus, or, you know, we had a faculty who asked for an Apple TV show. I was like, nope, they're not gonna, Apple won't even answer my questions. So if you could, you know, have a partnership with them to distribute for their films for educational purposes, I think that would be wonderful. That would be great. So yeah.
All right, I think we're slightly over time. So if there are no more questions, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We really appreciate it.